anyway, so I had a very bad day at work Thursday morning.
Okay.
Long story short, was in a meeting. Got reamed in this meeting. Yelled at, this, that, in front of like 25 people. And the whole time that this has happened, and it was unwarranted. Like, I hadn't done anything to need that from my supervisors. And I'm sitting there the whole time holding my tongue because I knew if I said something, it wasn't going to end up well, and I would basically destroy my testimony as a Christian. Okay? So then it got me sitting there thinking to myself, how hard is it to be a Christian sometimes? And how do you react in those type of situations? Because that's difficult, man. Like, I'm telling you, I got yelled at for probably 15 minutes. Oh. And the whole team was there. Like, one-on-one, I don't care. Yell at me all you want. But in front of your whole team at work, it's sort of just like, it's embarrassing as anything. And it's like, well, what do you do? I had a couple of options there. So my first option was unmute my mic and have a go and go back and forth and just completely destroy my testimony. React badly to it and, you know, talk rubbish behind his back to every employee under the sun, or shut my mouth, move on with it, and allow God to take care of the situation. Very hard. So I guess what I'm putting to the table is when you're faced with difficult situations, especially as a Christian, how do you deal with it?
Do you want to kick it off?
Well, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, 100%.
Like a lot of things.
Before I forget,
Tell me.
if I don't got something great to say back, like in a calm Christian way, I'm not saying nothing.
That's fair.
I'm not saying nothing.
That's fair.
You know, because if I let my tongue go loose, you never know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
It might make the situation worse. So it's best to not say anything at all if it's not.
And just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's easier said than done when we always say give it to God, because we always, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here, we always come to that predicament where we think about what to say after the situation
After
happened.
the fact,
and we're like, I wish I said that.
Always comes to me that.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
But,
when it's the great thing to say.
And when you're driving in the car, I should have said that.
Exactly. But one thing I always try to do for myself is not react at the moment. Take time, think about it, pray if need to. Most of the time you will need to, because you're in that state of mind where you're very upset, very emotional. You want to take a step back. You want to allow the situation to cool down. You don't want to be acting or thinking upon the situation with such angry emotions and thoughts. You want to take a step back, relax, think with a clear head, and make the choice with a clear mind.
And like you said, easier said than done, because it's very hard, bro, because what you're putting at play there, or what you're risking there, for lack of a better term, is you're risking your ego and your pride. Like, you're really saying to yourself, nah, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna do anything. And like, the whole situation is you're literally denying yourself. And we talk about that a lot in church. Deny yourself, allow Christ to take over. So, Stat, yours? Got any ideas on this?
So it depends on the situation. You guys probably think I'm crazy, but do you know how you said earlier, okay, you give it to God and that. But say, for example, you in that meeting and you cop the shellacking for 15 minutes. It's very hard to kind of, in that moment, pray, in that moment, really give it to God and really get that answer. Because you're in that moment, and it's not one of those things where you can kind of put to the side and then give a day or two to think about it, and then come back to the meeting and give your input. It's one of those, it's on the spot thing. So how do you go about and actually say what you want to say, and how do you know it's going to be the right thing? It's a tough one, because if I was in a situation like that,
You're gone.
if I'm finished. I'm finished. But the only way I can get over it is if I laugh in the situation. Like, if I'm there and I just laugh, because if I don't laugh, it's I'm hypnotizing everyone. Like, I'm gonna go crazy. But look, in saying that, like, in all seriousness, but that's probably how I would react.
Well, that's our natural reaction.
I'm not gonna sit and give like a super like a spiritual answer, because I don't do that. But I think in that time, it's really just about what's your end game. Is your end game wanting to go out of that company or wanting to go out of that particular environment, or is the end game, I want to do this for a while? Or like, I think you got to look at it in that sense. While you're copying
you're copying the abuse,
you just got to think, all right, where's my priority at? Are you willing to lose this gig, whatever you got, or are you willing to? I
think you hit the nail on the head there, because in that, like, you're right, in that situation, you really can't go away. You can't pray. You can't. I mean, you can pray in your head, but you don't have the time to actually assess the entire situation.
Correct, because you're in that moment,
That's
and
right.
whatever is in that moment, you're inclined to say straight
And
away.
something Pastor said in this weekend sermon was, you need to prepare, right? You need to prepare yourself spiritually. So I think in the whole prep game, right, when you're reading your Bible, you're praying every day, you're walking with the Lord, it's in situations like this where that's actually put to the test. Because I'll tell you, man, I don't think I've been that angry at work in a solid 4 or 5 years. Back in the Samsung days when you and I used to rant to each other.
What a time.
I don't think I've been that angry in a long time. So I'll be straight out. How I dealt with it was I just stopped. I bit my tongue, just let it play out, let it go. I hung up the call once it was finished, and I called one of my Christian mates, one of my leaders in the faith, and I spoke to him about it. I ranted. I let it go. I go, okay, what's my next step? What do I do? And they were able to help guide me and direct me. I think what Goose said is right in that we really do need to think about just stopping and not talking stupidly, because it's so easy to do.